Justin Bieber's Instagram feed shifted from calm to chaos in an instant. One moment, fans were scrolling past the usual snapshots and promotional posts. The next, they were staring at blunt, icy screenshots of private messages between Justin and someone who had once been in his inner circle. He didn't reveal the other person's name, but the words were unmistakably his cold acknowledgments, sharp boundaries, and hints of deep resentment. This wasn't just a celebrity squabble exposed for clicks. It was a sudden public fracture that cracked open a friendship and forced millions of followers to confront the raw nerves beneath Justin's polished image. The posts felt heavier than gossip. They touched on emotional baggage, mental health scars, and the painful reality of setting boundaries when past wounds still ache. In one of the screenshots, Justin insisted he would never suppress his emotions for anyone, declaring that anger is the honest echo of the pain he's endured. He wrote that asking a traumatized person not to be traumatized is cruel, a line that resonated far beyond his fanbase. The other party tried responding calmly, but Justin's replies only grew harsher. He would not accept anyone calling his anger lashing out. He reminded them he had friends who respected his limits and ended with a chilling dismissal, blocking them and telling them to leave him alone. For onlookers, the takeaway was stark. Justin wasn't just hurt. He was finished. What followed was a wave of backlash and confusion. Some thought Justin's reaction was too intense, too final. Others believed he was simply protecting his peace after being misunderstood one too many times. But the story didn't stop with the screenshots. Justin kept posting, this time turning his attention to his entire audience. In an emotional message, he wrote, "Quit asking me if I'm okay. Quit asking me how I'm doing. I don't do that to you because I know how life is for all of us. It's hard." His tone wasn't seeking sympathy. It was raw, direct, and almost accusatory. He seemed frustrated not just with one person, but with the world. People asking about his well-being felt more like pressure than comfort. Then he added a line that startled many: "Your concern doesn't come off as care. It comes off as oppressive." Weirdo. It was sharp, unfiltered, and led fans to believe he might still be talking about the same person. Someone who perhaps tried to check in, set boundaries, or express concern only for Justin to see it as control rather than compassion. This shift from defensiveness to isolation painted the picture of someone spiraling emotionally, struggling to distinguish genuine support from perceived judgment. The question burning through every comment section was the same: who was he talking about? Fans and insiders began connecting the dots, and the name that surfaced was Ernie Haltera, singer-songwriter and longtime friend of Justin's. Ernie wasn't a stranger to Justin's fans. He had inspired Justin in his early days and remained a figure of quiet support throughout the years. In fact, only days earlier, Justin had posted a FaceTime screenshot with Ernie, thanking him for being a real friend. From that warmth to this cold fallout, the whiplash was confusing. Something major had clearly happened behind the scenes, and fast. What followed was a wave of backlash and confusion. Some thought Justin's reaction was too intense, too final. Others believed he was simply protecting his peace after being misunderstood one too many times. But the story didn't stop with the screenshots. Justin kept posting, this time turning his attention to his entire audience. In an emotional message, he wrote, "Quit asking me if I'm okay. Quit asking me how I'm doing. I don't do that to you because I know how life is for all of us. It's hard." His tone wasn't seeking sympathy. It was raw, direct, and almost accusatory. He seemed frustrated not just with one person, but with the world. People asking about his well-being felt more like pressure than comfort. Then he added a line that startled many: "Your concern doesn't come off as care. It comes off as oppressive, weirdo." It was sharp, unfiltered, and led fans to believe he might still be talking about the same person. Someone who perhaps tried to check in, set boundaries, or express concern only for Justin to see it as control rather than compassion. This shift from defensiveness to isolation painted the picture of someone spiraling emotionally, struggling to distinguish genuine support from perceived judgment. The question burning through every comment section was the same: who was he talking about? Fans and insiders began connecting the dots, and the name that surfaced was Ernie Haltera, a singer-songwriter and longtime friend of Justin's. Ernie wasn't a stranger to Justin's fans. He had inspired Justin in his early days and remained a figure of quiet support throughout the years. In fact, only days earlier, Justin had posted a FaceTime screenshot with Ernie, thanking him for being a real friend. From that warmth to this cold fallout, the whiplash was confusing. Something major had clearly happened behind the scenes. And fast stop, but the part that truly shook fans came not from the fight itself, but from what Justin shared afterward, a message so personal it felt more like a journal entry than a public statement. He wrote, "Don't you think if I could have fixed myself, I would have? Already? I know I'm broken. I know I have anger issues. I've tried to do the work my whole life to be like the people who told me I needed to be fixed like them. And it just keeps making me more tired and more angry." These weren't the words of someone trying to prove a point or win a feud. They were the confession of a person exhausted by the never-ending expectation to heal quickly, to be better, to behave. Justin admitted that the more he tried to grow, the more he became consumed with himself. He said he was sick of thinking about his own flaws, that the only thing keeping him grounded was his faith in Jesus because it reminded him to live for others, not just for the image of self-improvement. "Jesus is the only person who keeps me wanting to make my life about others," he wrote. "Because honestly, I'm exhausted with thinking about myself lately, aren't you?" That final question pierced through the noise. It wasn't aimed at Ernie or any single person, it was aimed at everyone, at the world. It revealed that beneath the anger, beneath the blunt screenshots and harsh blocks, was a man desperately trying to make sense of his emotions. A man who didn't want pity but understanding. A man who wasn't lashing out because he hated someone, but because he was tired of trying to be something he's not, just to please people who never really saw the real him. This wasn't just celebrity drama, it was emotional unraveling. In real time, as all of this unfolded, fans couldn't help but notice the strange timing of Hailey Bieber's own online activity, and for some, it only deepened the emotional weight of Justin's posts. On Father's Day, Hailey commented online, "Father's Day sucks ass." It immediately drew comparisons to what Justin had posted earlier on Mother's Day. "Love you, moms, but Mother's Day sucks ass." The similarities felt too deliberate to ignore. Some fans saw it as Hailey mirroring Justin's tone, perhaps trying to be supportive in her own sarcastic way. Others weren't so sure. They questioned whether this pattern of light, dismissive humor during moments of real emotional vulnerability was Hailey's way of coping, or simply a tactic to downplay the seriousness of what was going on behind the scenes. Many observed that Hailey often seems to keep things playful and nonchalant, even when Justin appears to be drowning in something much heavier. While some admire her ability to stay composed, others wonder if her silence or her jokes mask a disconnect. Is she trying to lighten the mood to protect him? Or is she avoiding the weight of his emotions altogether? These little moments added layers to the public's perception of their relationship. When one partner is publicly unraveling and the other is posting dry, detached remarks, it's hard not to wonder what's really happening in private, and that's the heart of it, because Justin isn't just venting about a broken friendship. He's showing signs of deeper pain, signs that he feels misunderstood even by those closest to him. He's talking about being emotionally worn out, judged, and exhausted by a world that expects him to heal quietly, to behave publicly, and to never push back. Blocking Ernie, lashing out, posting about pain and faith, these aren't just moments of drama. They're glimpses into the emotional chaos Justin seems to be living through every single day. Everything about this unraveling felt like more than just the fallout of one argument. Ending a friendship as old and meaningful as the one Justin had with Ernie Halter publicly, and with such intensity, spoke volumes about where Justin is emotionally. This wasn't just a fight, it was a fracture. A crack that had likely been forming beneath the surface for years. And when it finally split open, it did so in front of the entire world. Whether this moment was a breakdown or a breakthrough, no one can say for sure. But what's clear is that Justin is trying to take back control over his life, his boundaries, and the people he allows into his inner circle. We've seen him speak about healing before, about depression, about anxiety, about carrying the kind of weight that few can truly understand. Maybe cutting ties with Ernie wasn't about disrespect or rage. Maybe it was about Justin trying to protect himself from another relationship that, to him, no longer felt safe. Maybe he's learning slowly and painfully how to choose peace, even if it comes with loss. But even if that's true, it doesn't make the situation any less heartbreaking. Justin and Ernie had a real connection, one that had spanned years of personal and professional milestones. To see it disintegrate so quickly and so publicly reminded fans that no bond is unbreakable when emotional pain goes unchecked. Sometimes even love and loyalty aren't enough to hold things together when the wounds run too deep. And now, we're left with more questions than answers. Was Justin justified in the way he handled it? Or did he hurt someone who genuinely cared? Because he couldn't separate past trauma from present tension? Did Ernie cross a boundary we don't know about, or was he simply caught in the storm of Justin's internal battle? Only the two of them truly know what happened behind the scenes. No matter where you stand, one thing is clear. Something about Justin's words resonated deeply with people. That feeling of being broken, of trying to grow while constantly feeling like you're not enough, that's not just his story, it's a universal one. His posts didn't feel like celebrity rants or staged outbursts. They felt like the raw, imperfect voice of someone who's been struggling quietly for far too long and finally couldn't hold it in anymore. For many, Justin's emotional honesty was a mirror, a reflection of how hard it is to carry hurt while pretending to be okay, of how friendships, even the most meaningful ones, can fall apart when unspoken pain builds up. So, what do you think? Was Justin standing up for his emotional well-being, setting boundaries in a way he never could before? Or was he pushing away someone who truly cared simply because he doesn't know how else to cope? Did Ernie say something that crossed a line, or was he just collateral damage in a much bigger emotional storm? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters. And if you care about the deeper truths behind the headlines, the real emotions, the messy moments, the humanity behind the fame, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because here, we don't just tell stories. We uncover what they really mean.